Maple Queef is a bodacious, sexy, quippy little bitch. I have been doing drag for 7.5 years and everybody wishes I would stop, but here I am. I love doing stupid, but I also love doing sexy. And you know what's a little bit stupid and also sexy? Queefs. So that's where the name came from. I am a 25-year-old drag performer from London, Ontario.
That table has the right energy. Let's try that again. Hi!
And I was trying to think of what's a super Canadian thing? Maple, let's run with that. Maple leaf, maple queef. But I also think it's a fun little tie-in to the fact that I'm an AFAB performer. AFAB is slang for assigned female at birth. And on the flip side, AMAB is assigned male at birth. Traditionally, in drag, a drag queen was an AMAB person who was portraying themselves as a woman, and a drag king was an AFAB person portraying themselves as a man. Especially in the last 10 years, drag has kind of started to become more of an art that is focused on playing with gender. Especially doing drag as a drag queen has given me permission to embrace my femininity as an AFAB person who is non-binary. I think of Maple less as a persona or a character and more as a fully actualized version of who I am. Somebody who isn't afraid to lean into all of the things that I want to be, but am sometimes scared to be in my day-to-day life. I was 17 years old. I was in this ratty little Party City wig. My stepmom was at the show with me and she had said, "You were natural." I'm very lucky that, I did come from a family who, they don't understand me, but they love me. I feel like there is a part of my life that I can't really talk about or that I have to kind of just sprinkle in here or there, even though this is probably one of my biggest sources of joy in my life.
Yeah, so before May, come see us at Open Stage. Do a test run of your number that you want to do. I do test runs at Open Stage all the goddamn time.
I just love it. I love doing one number and then running away.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my favorite. Wow. No, thank you. It's really nice to see you. No, I will be out there in a minute.
Treehouse is my house, and that of course is me and Sugar Cube and Bell Bottoms. I think the really cool thing about that is every single one of us is an AFAB drag performer. They are people that, there may not be blood ties to, but that's my people and I'm gonna show up for my people.
Drag families came from when drag was super unaccepted and queer culture as a whole was, and so people didn't have their families anymore because they were typically outcasted. So people would start drag houses or drag families in order to found family within the community. So as now, modern day, drag families are more so a way to kind of connect with people, show that you're intertwined in some way. Usually drag daughters are taken under someone's wing because they mentor them. They often get them into shows, they teach them things about makeup, hair, accessories, etc. Any questions you have in the drag scene can usually be directed towards your drag mother.
Drum roll, please. Maple Queef!
Tap That Tree Productions came about because I really wanted to make a production company so that I could keep running events beyond just the one event that I was trying to co-run. Because unfortunately there is not always a lot of opportunity for AFAB people.
I am definitely very lucky to have, been welcomed into the world of drag with so many performers who know already and have experienced the kind of challenges of being an AFAB performer.
like a lot of people will say AFAB performers, you know, well, they don't have to do as much work, you know, like you naturally have boobs, you know, you naturally have like that more like feminine figure, you know, a lot of feedback that honestly I find is rooted largely in misogyny, because you're making a lot of assumptions about what a woman's body is supposed to look like. It's not fair to say, well, you already have all of this, so what could you possibly offer drag? Maybe a different lens, maybe a way that you haven't looked at something before. In the queer community, unfortunately, people focus on like gay men. And I think the really beautiful thing about AFAB people doing drag is it kind of forces them to include us. They try not to a lot of the time, but that's kind of the cool thing about creating our own spaces too. Whether you are a political person or not, drag is inherently political. By me walking out of the house looking the way I look, that is me saying, I'm here, I'm queer, the hell are you gonna do about it? As somebody who's quite literally had a firework shot at me because I was outside of a gay bar, I think you have to learn that a lot of the malice that is out there towards queer and trans people comes from misunderstanding. The more people talk about it and the more people are just open and honest about the fact that they're just struggling through life too, I think that we start to be able to see each other more as people and see the humanity in each other, because I think that is a large part of what is sorely lacking. I can't tell you how many people I've had very productive conversations with who didn't start the conversation understanding what non-binary was, who maybe didn't think it was really a thing. And I talked to them about it, and I'm open and honest and non-judgmental. I've only ever lived in London and Dorchester, so like this is brand new territory for me. I don't really know anybody other than my partner in Cambridge. I love London so deeply. The drag scene here is huge. I think being able to be in Cambridge, which is smaller and has a smaller kind of drag scene, gives me a better chance to really like stand out.
I think that leaving London is probably the best thing for Maple in the long run, and I'm really excited to see where the journey takes them.
There's like maybe a little bit of pressure to kind of carry on that legacy. There's definitely going to be like a loss. They're never not gonna be my mentor. They're never not gonna be my mom. Their legacy is one of like breaking boundaries.
So tonight is also my last show, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think getting to leave on like being one of the judges for a competition for like a community that I've helped to build, I think it's the correct ending to Maple's based in London journey. Like this is almost like my magnum opus in a way, of me helping to kind of foster this type of community and this type of environment in London. I did compete in stuff not quite like this, because this is a very like, this feels like a much safer environment.
A world of boozy, boozy, flashing lights. I want to be that fucked up girl.
I hope when people think of me, they think of somebody who, even if I didn't always get it right, I always tried to do better and to be better and to show up for the community. Honestly, a really big part of what keeps me doing drag is the amount of affirmation and love I receive, and I hope that the community thinks of me and feels even a fraction of as much love in return.